Yeah,
The thing is, Hank, if you're gonna take the copyright anyway, you might as well use the original source.
exactly. And a lot of times you can get certain super popular music. You can get a like a license in a pack, and or to something, or you can use YouTube to
I've
display
had a
the
little
license.
bit of luck, a little bit, utilizing some music by citations and credits. Though it pops up as a claim, and then the claim falls off like the next day or whatever.
Hmm.
I don't know. I've had a little luck.
Yeah, and it really depends on who's maintaining the copyright. It really, really depends on it. That's why we can't give you a blanket answer.
Bro, you know one of my favorite things about election season? Everyone goes insane. They're all crazy, dude. They're all nuts. And you've got it's so wild. It's like WWE, but without the fighting. It is so amazing. People will stand here and try to defend any trash that rolls out of some random freaking oligarch's mouth. They're just like, oh, all American or all the people who support Trump are garbage. And half the country goes, yeah, they're garbage. We should throw them out like the trash. And the other half gets a fucking garbage truck and gets on it.
Yeah, and it's silly because the policies are virtually identical to each other. I can't even this year.
In this case, it's even worse because I can't even tell you one of Kamala's platform points because she stole them from Trump.
Exactly.
That's the thing I don't get with this one. Welcome back, bud. Hey, whoa! Oh, I thought that was a gun for a second.
Just a pound.
You're doing good. I'm proud of you.
Made me hungry. I think that's why I'm making coffee as well. Because I've got some biscuits here.
I'm a bit pissed off. I had to use coconut oil because I ran out of olive oil. There you go.
I want to know who's out there squeezing coconuts.
Right. Olive oil isn't a good one. I just cook with lard, man. I'd just use lard.
You know, when it comes down to it, provided you're not deep frying, lard is one of the healthiest forms of oil available. It has lots of micronutrients and like little things in it that aren't in anything else, tallow and whatnot.
Brain needs, man.
Yeah.
It's got fats in it that's good for your brain. So
Yeah, I don't even deep fry. I usually use the broiler, or I use a wok to shallow fry, or use my instant pot. So I don't even deep fry.
Air fryers are good. Wait, I don't have one.
And I like cooking with butter when I can. It's just
That's absolutely good at this.
yeah.
That's absurd to me, Hank. The concept of cooking in a bedroom just seems dangerous to me. I don't know why. I mean, I get that it can be controlled just as well as it can in the kitchen, but the second you take cooking out of the kitchen, it makes the heebie-jeebies and the words stand up on the back of my neck. I'm just like, I don't know, dude.
Well, in a bedroom, you just use the lava lamp. I prefer the kitchen now.
Wow. We should do a series called Cooking with Hank. You should do a series called Cooking with Hank where you're laying in bed with like a wife beater on, stirring the fryer next to the bed.
I don't have any wife beaters.
You're definitely going to have to fix that. How can you know flow state not on a wife beater? I'll be right back.
I just wander around everywhere. In fact, I have replaced all my undershirts with the black ones.
Veggie Paradise.
I used to have white undershirts. I got rid of them all. I wear black undershirts now. They just look better on me.
What do you think that, right? So we're gonna have a bit of what's it called when you see pictures and things? What do you think that looks like on the coffee? Or do you think that white? It looks like it could be a baby bird.
Oh yeah, I can see a baby bird on there too.
Or that could be demonic. Could be like a
Well, cats are demonic, anyways.
A demon with a crow face.
Could be like
Really malformed penis.
I never seen a penis look that.
I just read Shameless. I just read that completely different for a second. I thought it said she-male, but I'm not wearing my glasses, and I do need glasses. Bless you. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Right, yeah, Shameless. Good day. That's quite interesting. Somebody called Shameless curtsying. That gives me, that's basically Harlequin imagery in my mind. Snark and Sass, how you doing? Paradolia, that's it. Nice one. Thank you, Little Wing. Paradolia.
Paradolia.
Yeah, just Paradolia. Looking at your coffee there in your in your profile pic.
Yeah, it's a latte.
Yeah.
Oat latte.
Mine's a leche, which is a latte. Basically, it's just hot milk and condensed milk and coffee. But I don't.
Double latte.
I don't. I haven't got a steamer for my coffee. I just heat the coffee up in a microwave so it doesn't get the nice froth on the top.
I use the microwave only to reheat things, like drinks. I never cook stuff in it. I don't think it's right.
I cook stuff on it very rarely because there's no good cookbooks for the microwave.
Yeah, like have you ever tried to cook a potato, baked potato sort of thing in the microwave or a couple?
I have a setting for that.
Fucking crap.
The microwave was good for starting a baked potato. Like you could do I used to just bake a potato. I used to just microwave a potato and not put it in the oven at all. But you can just cook it for like a few minutes, and then it doesn't need so long in the oven, and it crisps up nicely on the outside. Like a proper baked potato is amazing, man. I mean, the skin goes all crispy and with like real butter, and oh mate, I love a proper baked potato, tuna and mayonnaise. Or
I always, my trick for baked potatoes, I to make it even nicer, always just sprinkle a little bit of sea salt on top of it while it's cooking, and then it just sort of the flavor soaks into the potato a bit, and it's just lush.
I usually use Old Bay.
They've got Canarian potatoes here.
Oh yeah.
And that's basically what they do. They get new potatoes and just sprinkle it with salt, cover them in salt, and then bake them. So they're baked new potatoes covered in salt. Fucking
awesome.
Delicious, really nice. U-Haul, openish basically means if you've been on my panel before and I know you and recognize you, then you're straight up, obviously. If somebody else on the I don't know you, but somebody else on the panel can vouch for you, then you get straight up. But if I don't know you and you've never been on the panel before, then before you come up on the panel, we have a little camera check back, in the backstage before you come on the screen, just to make sure that it's a real person and that I'm not going to get bored.
I'll show you something else I like. This is one of my other loves.
That's a nice bit of green.
Yeah, it's not mine. Just that, like, I'll always admit, whether that picture I just found on the internet, I think it's artistic, really. I don't think it's an actual photograph. If you look closely at the top, it's like red and it's weird shapes and stuff.
I've actually seen when you grow in weed, you can actually encourage different colors in the weed depending on the color of LED that you use.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
they can bring the purple out in stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Purples and blues and yeah, reds.
So you go with the color you want. So purple, blue LEDs.
I don't know how it works. Honestly, I don't know how it works. When I was in Portugal, I worked in a couple of grow houses, and we weren't doing anything with LEDs. We were using 1,000-watt lights, 1,000, 1,500-watt lights, and because of the cost of that for the electricity, we were looking at the LEDs. I think maybe it is actually just a marketing thing, and it's literally just the LED. They're using the LEDs in the photography that
Just to make it look better,
just to enhance the colors and stuff. It's not actually that. I mean, I have had weed that is purple. You know, it looked purple.
I know. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, Sute, that's it. Right, the temperature can change the color. So I think that's why LEDs maybe can change the color, because there isn't the temperature there. That's one of the things with LEDs. They don't run as hot. The LED systems don't run as hot as the 1,000-watt light. Those grow rooms, man. There's some serious heat. You had to have we had all the air. You were spending just as much on air conditioning as you were on lighting. Red Bricks, how you doing, man? But yeah, that was just a short chapter in my life, growing weed.
Yeah, I used to, a couple of years ago, I used to live with the guy who kind of grew his own in the in cupboards and stuff, and he had an attic as well. But it was amazing. Like, I only lived there like 3 or 4 days. I had to move out because the guy was just like crazy. I just couldn't. He was just anyway. So
a little bit paranoid.
The first night I stayed there, I was staying, and there was a cupboard next door to the room, and it full of weed plants, and the smell was just like it's just beautiful.
Intoxicating.
Because obviously we both love, Mary Jane. I love you, Mary Jane. And it's just, to be that close to, plants that are just reaching their maturity is just it's a lovely thing. I've never actually had the balls to try it myself in my own place. I think
it's
it'd be a really good idea.
I mean, the thing is, there's that you can get the best thing is to get a grow tent. Like, if you live in a house where you control the house, so you don't have to worry about it, then you set up a grow tent, and everything is contained within the grow tent. So you can only get a small harvest. You might only be able to do 2 or 3 plants, but it's you can get, basically you don't have to worry. You won't have to worry if you've got a grow tent and and you control the people that come in and out of your house and stuff. The only thing is the smell. You can't go away from the smell. That's like to mask the smell, you need
dehumidifier.
I don't know. Well, no, dehumidifier won't do it, and you don't want to use a dehumidifier until it comes to drying it out after you've harvested it. While you're growing it, I mean, it starts stinking probably if you're growing an auto flower, 3 months, 90 days, it starts stinking after after 60 days, it starts stinking. So, unless you can contain that stink within your house, like where we were in villas that had air conditioning systems and fans, extraction systems, and everything all set up. But even with all the filters and everything on the extraction system that we had, if you stood outside near where it was blowing out, you could smell weed. You couldn't get away from it, man. That's why in England people will be much more paranoid about it. Like here and in Portugal and in Spain, you're allowed to grow it in your home. I think it's fucking ridiculous that we allow them to enforce a law that stops us from being able to grow a plant that's natural to, you know. You
Yeah,
don't have
it's
to do
stupid.
anything. All you have to do is put the seed into some soil, water it, and just take care of it, and then it grows into a plant. How can that be illegal?
It doesn't make sense. We should probably just plant it everywhere so they can't even. They just be pulling out their hair trying to pull it out the ground.
I mean, I've heard that in Tobago and in Jamaica and in the Dominican Republic, it's literally growing on the sides of the road.
Yeah, weed is literally weeds there because the climate is right for it.
Oh, people here, they like you can go out for a walk out into the woods of the countryside and stuff, and you might come across just a little, you know, somebody's planted a couple of. There's another guy that, like, on more than one occasion, planted a couple of plants, and then just went back 6 months later and harvested them. That's the great thing about here. We get in the winter we get 11 hours of sunshine during the day, and in the summer we get 13 hours of sunshine during the day. So there's always around, you know, around 12 hours.
Yep, that's good. I'm gonna shove off. I have a busy day today. Thank you for having me.
No worries, dude. Thanks for coming up. Take it easy, bud.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, where's Sasquatch? You about, dude? Can you vouch for this U-Haul person? You can put a link in your chat. I can't do it. It used to be that when you posted comments, they posted on everybody's chat, but I can only post comments on my chat now.
Weird. I just wanted to say, Richie, about Hank. Like, I've been following him for a while. I think I first saw him on Paul Unslaved's channel, but I don't think he goes on there anymore. So he just he goes everywhere. But I've got a lot of respect for him because I think he's really, really intelligent.
I like it, man.
Autism, and I agree with him. We do need to work together. We do need to sort of pool our resources, pool our skills, and just help each other rebuild a new society. Basically,
I mean that's like, if everybody recognize what Near's been saying, it's true what he's saying. The battle there shouldn't be any battles between us. We were all on the same side at the end of the day. We're all on the same side, and that is on the side of living a life, being allowed to live a life, and you know, and live it to its full potential. So we've all got the right to do that, and there's a certain class of people that are trying to stop us from doing it and trying to control what we're doing. That's the real. It is them and us.
But we're too powerful. That's the thing, and we will win.
Right. If we can, create a cohesive understanding of what the mission is. William Freeman, I haven't seen you for ages, man. How you doing?
Well, I guess there's different ways of looking at the same problem, but it doesn't really matter because it's the same problem. Some people do have more solutions and more answers than others. Some people don't have a fucking clue and they give up and give in, and they just it's all they're all watching us, they're all listening to our conversations all the time. Oh well, don't worry, so what? But no, I think we should just look after ourselves whenever we can, ensure our privacy, our safety, and our freedom.
Look after ourselves and each other.
Yes.
Right. If you can count on always being, having backup and support, then giving backup and support shouldn't be so difficult, should it? But this is realizing that we're all on the same side. It doesn't matter what football team you support. I don't care what what you identify as, or how much what you've done, or I don't care about any of that. I just care about getting rid of this fucking system that we're in, man. How you doing, Izzy? Good day. Sas, if you want to put a link in your chat, because when I put it in comments, I'll put it in the comments, but it's only going to come up on my chat.
I think that has something to do with the settings of Sasquatch, not so much. I think you can regulate that, whether it goes to your chat or not. I'm not sure, but I think
it used to be. I used to be able to regulate that. It used to say you used to be able to bring up a Dropbox and specify an individual channel or send it to all the channels. But they've taken that away.
Okay. Yeah, I used to do it automatically, and then it changed. Hey, dude, have you heard about this guy? I think his name was Longo. He.
Oh God, not Dr. Longo. He went on.
No, he ran a how do you call this, pet rescue? That's what he did. And he had a pet squirrel in his house, right? For 7 years. That squirrel actually had his own TikTok channel and everything. And the story goes that 4 departments raided his home with 12 officers. They took away the squirrel, and he also had a raccoon in-house just to kill it. Just to kill it. So they said, you can't have a squirrel, you can't have a raccoon. We're going to take the squirrel and the raccoon, and then we're going to kill it, because that's what's good for these animals, and that's what's good for you. That's what makes this world a better world. I mean, there's way more worse things that happening in the world, but this is so beyond crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to take away the squirrel and the raccoon so that we can kill them, because that's.
Yeah, you can't have a squirrel and a raccoon, and the squirrel and raccoon aren't allowed to live anymore.
Yeah,
we're not gonna.
We're gonna spend all these people's salaries. Like, that must have cost like 10,000, just to do it, and let alone all the paperwork that comes after it. It's
damn, I love raccoons and squirrels.
Man, I don't even know. I mean, get rid of this system, but you just. No, not just get rid of it. Just burn it down to ashes, man. It's wow.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
The system only exists because, the minions at the lower levels, they know they're minions at the lower levels, and they seem to be fucking happy with being a minion in the lower level. and and the system exists.
Yeah. And it also
Where in the fuck do you find 10 people that are willing? How do you find 10 people that are willing to kidnap somebody's animal and then kill it? And then they even feel they get paid for that, and they feel like they did a good thing. Like,
well,
making a coffee.
you tell people, you get people to believe that there are regulations or laws or whatever in place that mean that this person is breaking the law and is not allowed to have these animals, and these animals need to be killed because they're dangerous or whatever. And you just need to get people to believe that, and then they'll enforce it, no problem. I mean, look at the Coof, dude.
yeah.
The policing, the self-policing that went on amongst people just about wearing a mask.
It's ridiculous, wasn't it? Looking back.
Oh, yeah.
But isn't it still going on? I think. I mean, I see videos of people still doing it or doing it again.
Not just those people. Some people are still brainwashed.
There's a girl that has gone on Flo's channel a couple of times, and in her profile pic, she's wearing a fucking mask. She is the girl that rides down the street in the car with the windows closed and the mask on. Still today in November 2024. Oh yes, but
That's the first. Yeah, it's me.
It's just conditioning and brainwashing.
Yeah, but I was just thinking, like, how would you like dismantle a system that's blatantly broken and corrupt? But then I thought that the answer just came to me in a flash, and I was like, well, it's all done with mind power, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all psychology and belief.
Yeah.
Which right. So
if you didn't have that, then I mean, if you had freedom around thinking, that, then you'd be free, wouldn't you?
And
you'd have a system.
So that's where I come from with my when I say that basically the perception is the key to reality.
Exactly.
It's the key to everybody's reality. So who has control of your perception? All our perception in every way possible has been controlled, and there are some ways that it's quite, fair enough. I'm holding a lighter right now in my hands. It's a lighter, and it's fair for me to perceive this as a lighter because it lights things. It's a lighter. It does what it says on the tin, right? But the unseen things that people experience, as in the things that you experience personally but you're the only person that experiences it or sees it. So even if there's other people around you, they don't have the same experience as you, like atmospheres and shit like that. They control the way that we perceive those things as well, right down to things that do happen, but only a few people see those things. But so what they portray to the rest of the world as what happened isn't what happened. They're playing with people's perceptions.
Yeah,
sure, like illusion and trickery.
So you came up with a solution, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I mean,
no, not you, but the other one. I can't see his name.
Oh yeah, sorry, Ricardo.
Oh, me? I've got a solution. Well, it wasn't exactly. I don't know if it's a solution, but I just thought how to dismantle a system by stealth, obviously without using force or blah blah. But how is it? How is it held up? And it's all held up by people's beliefs, right?
Yeah, I think that's why it's so important, and that's what we know or that's what we feel or see and do as so-called truthers or awake people or researchers or however you want to call it, is to make people aware of it, right?
Yep.
So this is, this is why the spirit of Shiva exists. Because if you look back through history, really what it tells us is that we reach a point where we destroy ourselves. The system, everything is destroyed and collapses for whatever through war, but basically, we seem to get to a point where the imbalance is so great that it falls in on itself, and then we have to start again.
But isn't that always because of corruption in high places? It's not us. It's not we. It's not the population who does it. It's these stupid rules that are made by these
Right.
rulers.
But you can't. And so I don't think that's. It's not about the individuals. It's like, because you could take the best person in the world, who has the best of intentions, and is a decent, honorable, honest person, put them in a position of ultimate power, and see how long they stay a decent person. I think it's a universal thing. Ultimate power, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah,
that's
there's this.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how the person starts. Like, it could be that all the way up until a certain point, they had all the best of intentions. And that's why they got to the certain point, and society said, "Yeah, you're brilliant. You've got the best of intentions. Whoosh, we'll give you all the power." And they get all the power, and then the reason for that is because the people that come into the power are the people that are seeking power. They seek power over other people. They want to be able to control. They think that they have a better idea about how the way that everybody else should live, for society to work properly.
Yeah, and they're exactly the kind of people that shouldn't ever be given power.
Right.
So if it were that we could actually choose people, randomly, and we would be able to elect a person with integrity for 4 years. I think it is possible, because if somebody doesn't want to be in power, but he has all the qualities for it, and people want that person to be in power, and they're going to say, "Well, we want you to do it," it's very hard to say no. It's very hard to say no, especially when you have the integrity and the wisdom to do so. And so maybe it is possible. Maybe it is possible.
I think the only way that is possible is if power is decentralized. It's been way too centralized.
Yeah.
So it's down to small groups of people. If they decentralize power, and we went back to communities, and townships, it would be a lot, we'd maybe be able to do that. And you could say that to be part of this society, you need to, as an adult man or woman, to be part of this society, you need to be prepared to, if you are called upon to lead that society for a maximum term of 4 or 5 years or whatever, but you'll never be asked to do it again. And
could it be just random then? Just a completely random person?
No, it couldn't. It would have to be a random pick of people capable, because not everybody's capable of leading.
So like healthy functional people then.
Yeah,
both mentally, emotionally,
well balanced, educated, in the essential thing. But this is the trouble is, right? This is where it all began in the first place. What we've got going on now, I think, began with men and women saying, well, this is how we should do things. But the trouble is, because of the human condition, because of the way that we work, I think that's why you can't discount the paranormal spiritual side of things, that maybe there's a dark side. There's this dark malevolent force that exists. There's a beautiful, amazing, creative force that exists, and there's this malevolent dark force that exists. Oh, look, yin and yang, fucking duality, left and right, black and white.
Do you think they're afraid of the light any more than some of us are afraid of the darkness? Because I'm not.
So I think that's the problem. That the human condition exists because we're ignorant. We're ignorant to that. We're ignorant to, and it's been kept hidden from us.
But it can't be kept hidden anymore. We've got the internet. Everyone has the right to know and the potential to know.
Right, but unfortunately, the only people that seek to know are the people that have reached a point in their lives where they feel they need to, because nothing, they see their paradigm, their universe, their worldview has been shattered already in some way.
Yeah, we've got to find a way that can reach more people, that can reach everyone with the capacity to understand. So it can't be too complicated. Can't use too many big words. But
the thing is, can you say that maybe people are as dumb as they are because for a lifetime we've been fed fluoride and E numbers and bullshit, like for our lifetimes.
MSG,
all of it, MSG, fucking all of it, all of the poisons that have been introduced into our diet over the last 100 years. Like cancer didn't exist in the 1700s.
No, and they don't get cancer in Africa, do they? They just
there was a time when they didn't get cancer in China either, but then McDonald's opened up.
Yeah, and Coca-Cola machines.
I mean, just take cancer, for example. Cancer, everybody's been absolutely lied to about cancer. The official narrative about cancer and what cancer is a fucking lie. Like, cancer is something that it's something that happens. It already exists in the body. It's not this disgusting parasitic fucking organ blob that somehow grows, comes from somewhere else and grows in your body. It's an imbalance in your body and your body reacting to that imbalance.
So where do you think it comes? Do you think it's largely from bad diets, or just poisons, or mainly just poisons in the atmosphere and stuff?
And also poisons in the mind, like people. I think that the whole idea of the what's it called? Sugar pill,
Sugar pill.
What's it called? Placebo, right? The placebo effect.
Right.
I don't think people really truly appreciate just how far-reaching and how powerful and important it is. I've proven it to myself. In like 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I changed my perception.
Yeah.
I changed my perception of my body, of how my body works. Of everything, of everything. I changed my perception of food. Changed. It all changed. Since then, I've only been sick twice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get COVID. I got sick during, but it wasn't symptoms of. It wasn't the same symptoms. It was different. I had I did have a fever.
Fever.
It was like massively migraines and stuff, and just feeling completely. There was no head cold, I didn't have. There was no phlegm. There was none of that. There was no phlegm. So it just felt like I just felt really, really under the weather. I felt like something was baking my brain.
Radiation, maybe.
Exactly, Curious Squirrel. The placebo effect works both ways. You can think yourself into sickness. You can think yourself into illness and disease, dis-ease. You think yourself into it.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a good friend who's part of my Magic Treehouse group on Signal, and he's in a terrible state at the moment because he's a survivor of a serious accident, the same as me. Serious. I think it was a motorbike. I'm not sure, but he had a bad accident as well, and his legs were injured, and I think his back. And he nearly died, and it was a long recovery process. And he's still today. He feels like he's just constantly losing weight. It doesn't matter what he eats. He's just losing weight. And he's hurting. His legs are causing him so much pain. And the only thing I could say was, like, climate plays a massive part in this. A fucking huge part in it. I don't think if I had never come to Tenerife, I wouldn't have been able to get to where I am now mentally, because the climate and the difference in how I feel in this climate compared to the northern hemisphere climate, the more, the colder, wetter, damper, shitty climate of Europe and the UK, I'm a different person here. I'm actually a different person here. I'm me. I'm able to be me in this country. I'm able to be completely, totally, 100% me. Whereas in the UK, I'm a 90-year-old man in the UK, and at 33 years old, I was a 90-year-old man, walking around, hobbling around with my crutch, in pain. Everything hurt. Every fucking step I took hurt. And even when I was sat down, the throbbing and, the throbbing in my hip and in my knee and in my foot and in the back of my head, and everything throbbed and hurt and was painful all the time. So I was on painkillers all the time.
That sucks.
Here, I don't need nada. I don't need anything. When it gets chilly, I get mild discomfort in my feet. But that's it. It's because my feet get cold.
Yeah.
And they start to hurt. But it's not, it's nothing like it was in the UK or in Portugal. Like, Portugal is no different to the UK. It's just exactly the same weather in Portugal as it is in the UK now, except they might get a little bit more sunshine in July.
Rainy.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I couldn't believe how much it had changed. When I moved there in 2009, that's what woke me up to geoengineering.
Yeah.
The fact that, hang on a second, I used to come to Portugal every year in the 80s and the 90s, and it was never, ever, ever, ever like this.
Yeah.
We never saw these clouds, it was never damp like this. It was never cold like this. And all their buildings are designed for a nice, hot, warm climate. They're all designed for that. But over the last 20 years, they have had a UK climate. You imagine that, with no central heating, no carpets, but everything's fucking cold and wet.
Yeah, I don't have to imagine. I just live in, live in the UK, and I'm on the south. I'm pretty much as south as it gets. But even so, it's still, we still get some really bad weather.
As south as it gets, I'll be all the way down there in Land's End, like Devonshire.
More like Dorset.
Dorset, that's it. Well, Dorset is Bournemouth. So Dorset was like right next door to. We used to go down to Bournemouth every weekend as soon as I could drive.
Everyone loves Bournemouth.
Boscombe Pier. Yeah, but have you seen what's happened to the place? Oh my God,
Yeah.
man! I was watching somebody, a YouTuber, walking around Boscombe and stuff. Bournemouth is not a safe place to be anymore.
No, not really. There's a lot of people you just don't talk to. You try not to look at them.
Do you live in Bournemouth? Whereabouts?
I do. Yeah. I actually live in Boscombe.
There you go, man. Do you remember was it the Holy Rooms?
Oh, I don't. I've only been here like 8 years, so
it's before.
I don't remember the old days.
Time,
and I know it used to be, the one of the number one towns to go for partying.
No, the Opera House
all the time.
That's what like the club we used to go to was the Opera House in Boscombe.
Okay.
I don't know when it closed down. It closed down something like 20 years ago or something. It closed down. But back in the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s, that's where I was partying. Every Friday night was in the Opera House, man. It's just epic. And coming out, everybody was beamed off their heads, man. Everybody just all loved up on ecstasy, and it's amazing.
I've seen it so many times.
Welcome back, Mr. Sasquatch. Do you want to put the link in your chat?
Yeah, actually, I was just typing that backstage.
I put it in a.
Well, no, I can't clip it for. I can't copy it from anywhere else.
I'm gonna head out, man. I might come back later, but I've got a few things to do, so I've got to go out and do some stuff. So I'll check back with you all later.
No worries, man.
It's been really good coming on.
Have a wonderful day in a wonderful way.
Thanks, man. Peace out, everyone.
Much love, brother.
Peace.
Big love.
What's going on with your camera, Sass? You're moving around in front of it. It keeps sort of picking you up.
Yeah, that's what it is he's doing something really close to the camera and it's popping parts of his skin up.
You better not be getting a little penis out on my screen. That's a real close up.
It's just because it makes it look bigger.
Lyme Regis. Oh, bloody hell, Lyme Regis. I've been to Lyme Regis, and man, I'll tell you what, it's obviously an age thing, but it's massively probably because of drugs. Right? They've probably had a part to play in it. The recreational drugs that I've taken over the last 20 years. But I've forgotten so many places, man. So many things, so many names, so many places I've just forgotten. There's a castle in Devon that we used to go to. That was really cool.
All right, check it out, folks. I'm fixing to drop the link over here in my chat. I'm going to pin it to the top. I'm not looking for panel chillers. If one of you trolls come up here and try to smoke this place up, I'm gonna exert every bit of authority I can wrangle to get you out of here, because I'm not playing none of that shit this morning.
I mean, yeah. I guess the most important thing in that is I'm the one that's in control of the channel.
That's true. He's kind of sweet on me, so y'all watch yourselves.
The moment that I decide, it's the moment I decide. So, and if Sasquatch says to me, if I'll go by his direction, but if I'll just go by.
It's just there's a few people out there who have either a single track mind and they refuse to discuss anything but a given topic, right?
Right.
And
I see.
If we were open topicing this whole thing and we weren't like trying to actually discuss some stuff, then I wouldn't have a problem. If we didn't have something to work on, I'd be fine with it, but I've never ran out of ideas. We get bored, we'll just go to the next one on my list.
And that's what I rely on. I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and direct the conversation anyway. I'm just providing the space and some moderation.
Yup. Delicious.
I've
chaos.
forgotten what we were talking about already.
That's fine.
That's the
So-
thing. The conversation it's always such an organic conversation. It bounces around. We touch on so many different subjects. It's like because there's too many things that can be discussed.
True. I went on vacation for the past couple of weeks. I just got back and I went on vacation to South Carolina, to a little island down there. They had a little bit of a kerfuffle about the hurricanes that come through, but not much to speak of. Coming back home, bro, because Helene rolled right through my town. It completely destructified everything here. We have literally millions of trees down. We have roads here 6 weeks later that still aren't open. We still have wires laying around in the road in some places. There are people who are homeless because trees fell through their house. There are people who are homeless because their house blew through a tree. There are it's a nightmare. It looks like Fallout 4 with working gas stations.
Did you have any like mud flood situations? What's the mud and silt situation like? Because one of the things that I've been looking at is like they're talking about the toxicity of the silt in North Carolina and Asheville and stuff.
Yeah. Here I'm already in a swamp area. It's already very, very, very moist, juicy, and wet. So that was part of the reason a bunch of trees came down, is like the roots aren't very deep because the water table's so close to the surface. So,
Right.
they just pop out like a cork. But on top of that, there's this particular stream, creek, if you will. Usually, when you go by this creek, you can step across it, bro. I'm on the east side. I'm on the west side. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's a creek.
it's a
Right.
shoestring of water that's running through this thing.
Yeah.
When I went to go drop my daughter off, she lives on the other side of the county over here, like, I don't know, 40, 50 miles away. And yes, I live in a huge county. And she's on the very end of a dirt road, and you can take a right or a left. If you take a left, you've got about 500 yards to pavement. If you take a right, it's about 4 miles. This creek is about halfway down that road. The flood level that thing reached was 42 feet above the road. Not flood stage. Flood stage. It was 42 feet above flood stage. There is a 8-foot culvert that this runs through. Think that shit through. This is a shoestring creek. You can step across it. And the culvert is completely unblocked. It's not like it's clogged or half full of freaking sand or anything like that. This thing, this hurricane dropped so much water on the ground. This creek that typically has to fill up on one side just to run through the pipe, not only filled up top of the road and then went up another 42 feet.
That's insane
Wow.
because there's no escaping that.
No.
Like,
No.
what should we do? Climb to the top of that telegraph post. Oh, right. What's all it's
Okay,
25.
now what?
Yeah. The water's still rising.
Yeah, now what?
Get on go on top of that parking lot. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the water's around my ankles now.
Well, the thing is here, like I said, we're already in a really wet environment. Everybody here is, for the most part, used to there being some level of flood stage happening anytime God spits. You know, it's kind of hard to flood a place that's already covered in water. But that did it. That did it. There are people, we don't build houses below, like, I don't know. There's this line on the maps from like 90 years ago, from the last time we had a major flood event here. and that we have laws against building homes below that level. You just don't do that. You know, if you try to, the county will come out and be, nope, you got to move it uphill. Nope, no permits there. You got to move it uphill. You know, so you can do things like hunting clubs and off-grid cabins and things like that, but you can't live there because of things like this, where poof, you're 50 foot underwater.
That's where I like I think the way you know, it should work in that sense is that, all right, if you want to do it, you got to sign this thing here that says you understand that you're basically, you can't
The
ever
difference
insure
is
this place. You'll never be able to insure.
it's easier than that, bro.
You won't ever be able to get life insurance. You won't ever be able to get any insurance or anything if you live.
Well, first of all, you can't insure if you build below flood stage. That's a given. Additionally, you can't get an address. If you build the place you claim as your house below flood level,
You can't
they
go
will not
posted
issue
in a-
you a mailbox. Right.
Right. So you can't.
That's
you won't
the
be able
big
to
holdup.
count. Right. Right.
Hey, what's up, AJ? Kingpin, Matrix,
Joe.
everybody.
Mojo. Mary.
The other side of that is, if you build below flood stage, you can't call the fire department, you can't call the police, an ambulance will not come because you do not have an address.
Yeah. So basically, you are essentially an outlaw kind of thing. You're not.
Yeah, you're outside the law. Yes.
You're outside of the amenities. You're out. You basically just putting yourself outside of society if you do that.
The fucked up thing about it, though, dude, is you can be 8 foot to the right and 8 foot down, and you don't get any of these benefits, but you can move right over here, and you do.
Mm.
And that's weird, but it's necessary, and I fully believe it's necessary because I've seen the effects of what happens when people build below that level, and recently.
Boy, what on earth are you doing, man? Are you just standing right in front of the camera and helicoptering your penis?
I was
Or is that
just in the toilet. No, it's a paper that's it's not really tight. I don't know. It works for me.
It's fluttering. It's a paper that's fluttering, and the camera's picking up the movement and trying to make it something.
Right? Exactly.
Right. I see. So
But
that's-
I was in the toilet when you said that. So
toxic
yes.
Tommy.
when
Is
you
that
asked me what it was.
is that a
I'm not sure who that is.
it's not a Illuma Tommy.
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe. I couldn't
Oh.
tell you. I don't know. I've seen him a few times.
Well, it's one of the things we were talking about earlier, right? Is about the marketability basically of drama over
Knowledge.
over anything else.
Oh,
Over
no,
anything. It doesn't
that's
matter.
not Illuminati, as far as I can tell. Homie's got 1.2K subscribers, 99 videos. He's putting in work. Good job, Toxic. I'm proud of you. In fact, let's help a brother out.
Illumitomy. Did you mean Illumitomy? Or yeah,
He's saying that they are not
yeah,
equal.
not the same guy. Yeah.
I don't think-
Obviously.
I don't
I'm-
think Illuminati has kept a channel long enough to get 1,000 subscribers. I don't know.
that whole I mean, like, who believes that he's actually like that in real life?
I don't care.
I actually don't care either, but
I
I
can
also-
care less. I'm never going to meet him in real life. And if it turns out he is that way, it will only meet once. And that will have been an accident.
I'm sure that he is like that in real life. I'm pretty sure. He's not acting.
I think there's probably a bipolar aspect to his personality.
Actually, I've had a couple of decent interactions with him. Like I've had it happen so that, you know, we talked and was like, hey, what's going on? You know, how you doing? This, that, the other thing. It's like, and he moved on to go terrorize someone else. You know, okay.
That's rare. That is rare. Hardly ever.
There's some people. I've been around YouTube for a really absurdly long time, and so I've encountered a lot of different folks that try to troll in a lot of different ways. And when you reach the point where you can recognize that that's what they're doing, you can just stop engaging immediately, and then their interest wanes off because I don't mention their name. I don't talk about their channel. I don't discuss how they are in real life. I don't. I give them nothing back. They cannot feed off my energy because I will not allow them to.
Yeah, that's how that works, huh?
But man, it is not easy. A lot of people can't do it.
So what do you think of, like, what do you think the self-proclaimed unslaved one is all about then?
Do you ever seen me fuck with him at all?
Actually, no.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you see him fucking with me?
I guess the only time, if you ever have actually engaged with him, has only been because he's come on a panel when you've been on it or something. Like
Once. There was one time, Broken System, Broken Trust was doing a panel, and I was in chat, and I'm like, hey, you know how I do previous guests, I go through, give them a like, chat for a little while, and move on with my day. If he requests me to come up, I might. If I've got time and can have the ability, then gravy. He asked me to come up. I pop in and find out that he's not actually running the panel. It's Unslaved.
Right.
And of course, he goes directly into his spiel about people running around trying to get clout off of him. And I went, oh, my bad. I didn't know this wasn't Broken System, Broken Trust channel. I have no intention of being here. I'm out. And I dipped.
Do you know what really cracks me up? Is that his ego is so huge that he thinks that people are getting clout from his content.
Well, he's, and I don't generally do this, but I'm going to do it because it fucking entertains me right now. He had a shorts live stream that he did, a vertical live stream, and it was rolling with like 400 people in there in chat, and he was being like, yeah, you know, I planned to put this into the algorithm so that we could actually grow today, and this was all part of my idea, and I'm glad I came up with it because that's hilarious. That is hilarious. It's hilarious because I mean, the first couple of times you vertical live stream, you put in some major work on that, you know, that it works for you. But once you start doing it, it becomes kind of hit and miss and real difficult to manage. Yeah, whatever. And I don't even care how he feels about it. It's fine.
I haven't done it yet. I did it once. I did that one.
Dude, it would be perfect for you. So much more perfect for you, bro. I've mentioned it to you before, but you said you weren't interested, and I skipped.
For the music? You mean for the...
Right. Because you're not bringing up guests and you're not trying to have a conversation. For the music, you can bring up a share screen to just put some random freaking visual effects up, right? And El Pufo, you've got visuals, you've got your sound, you're doing a thing, whether it's you walking around Tenerife showing the beach or whatever, or you want to go clip some loop of, I don't know, Mount St. Helens erupting or something. I mean, just something visual for people to tune into.
It's
I think it can really help you.
That'd be really cool. I've like, so I haven't done it for a while, but for a long time, and especially when La Palma was erupting, every single time I took the dogs out for a walk, I would be staring at Tady going, go on, come on, erupt, do it, just do it, just erupt. Because no eruption has ever killed anybody, right? That's not how even if Tady were to explode, it would be so long before any of the fucking lava got to anywhere that was of any danger, that there'd be so much there's so much warning, and there's so many plans already in place. When La Palma erupted, nobody was killed or injured. Everybody got out of the way. Lots of shit was destroyed, but they were ready for that, and they already had all the funds set aside to actually cover the cost of it as well. So basically, all those people, yes, they lost their place and they lost a lot of memories, but they have already got it in the bag that their new place is going to be built. You know, they're not lost anything out of that. They've just had to move
and they gained some land, you know,
Yeah.
on the sea, right? Some new land.
So you know, if Taylor,
Thank you, Ajot. I was just fixing to start trying to do that, and I was just staring at the chat going, man, I've got to go do this thing. Thank you. I'm sorry, she's dropping links over here. That's good work.
Yeah, no worries. So maybe I'll do that then with my I do plan to get the old guitar out around 4 o'clock. And I'll start a new stream with a vertical. Do it as a vertical stream.
Yeah, and don't just because like I said, when you're doing your music, you're not planning on bringing people up. You don't have any particular narrative.
Yeah,
it might not work the first time. So when you're just doing music, do the vertical stream. It could benefit you hugely, and it costs you nothing.
Right, I might just get a bigger audience.
And so why is it? Just because there's more people watching on their phones than on
it's the way they insinuate themselves into the stream. When you're scrolling through live, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. When you're scrolling through shorts, it's not whether or not you have a good thumbnail, a good title, good hashtags, or any of that topics, none of that. When they're scrolling through, you either have to catch them with their ear or catch them with the eye. Beautiful women, good music, stuff like that works. And it'll start off, you'll have 5 or 10, and then 10 or 20, and then 30 or 40. And then the next thing you know, poof, you're at 350, 400 people watching.
Yeah.
But it might not happen the first time. Also, here's another thing, because those are really, really long. You do really, really long streams. The longer a short stream goes, the more people you stack up in the chat. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the numbers. I don't like the vertical streaming because I don't watch on my phone, but you know that's
I mean that's why I don't. But then I guess with when I'm just doing the music, most people are watching me on the phone, or like Nikki shares me on the TV, and you know a lot of people do that, share it onto their.
They're not interested looking at you; they're interested in hearing you. That's what they're after.
Right. So, and like you said, when you're scrolling through the shorts, that's what's happening. You can't see the next shorts that is coming. It goes straight into it. It opens up straight into it. You don't see a thumbnail.
Right.
It's only if you are going to go up and say, I'm going to look through somebody's shorts, or I want to search through a list of shorts. Like I don't, but that's not how shorts work, is it?
No. Well, you can. There's a way to do it on a computer, but it's
1,000 views to 9,000.
Right. On average, that's what that phone call that I just got was about. It was somebody talking about changing their format and asking me what they were wanting, how to go about doing it, and whether or not certain things would be a good idea. And I kind of gave him the same advice I just gave you. When you're doing a topic and you know what you're going to do and you know how you're going to handle it, and you're not worried about it changing or having people come in and alter the format or whatever, if you're not trying to get people in, send the people that you want on the panel the link and email or message or text or however you communicate with them, and then start it up as a vertical live stream. And this does two things. One, you've already got your panel set up. You don't have to worry about any rando showing up and ruining everything by being an idiot. And also, in order to click the link on shorts, you have to click the pin, then go to the link. And then once the link pops up, you have to choose the right browser for you to go into and actually for it to work, right? So that puts in extra steps for them to try to join a panel. And doing that eliminates a lot of easily frustrated, simple-minded, unwilling to go through the motions people, and that keeps them off your stream, and it ends the issue with panel killers for the most part.
Interesting. Matrix Break says, "Listen to me when they tune in when they're driving." Nice one, man. Let me know. Right, if you listen, then let me know what sort of stuff. Like, if you've got anything that you like, you want to hear. I always like getting suggestions, for stuff to play.
I had somebody ask me the other day why I mess around with you. He's like, he seems a little bit out there, dude. I said, oh man, Double O's out there. He's way out there. He's out there on an island, bro. You can't even say he's not. So like, that's fine. He's like, well, what does he actually believe? I said, I wouldn't even guess. But in my experience, 007 seems to be an arbitrary skeptic.
Fucking hell, it's Jenny. Matrix Break is Jenny. Fucking hell. Well, it's good to see you're still about, Jen. You disappeared. You just completely disappeared off my radar.
Not really.
I figured when people want to disappear, they like if somebody wants to be found, then they'll pop their head up and be found.
Right. It's your choice. If you decide to leave on YouTube, you just change your name, and for the most part, everybody loses you. If you start a new channel entirely, they definitely lose you.
Yeah, I mean, like, so this is my third channel, isn't it? And I've only managed to get to 790 subscribers, man. I've been on YouTube for 7 years.
Yeah, AJOT, I can't highlight that, but AJOT has it. That's the way that works. You don't like it, nobody likes it, no one enjoys it. It's not something we want to do, but that's where the numbers are right now. There's times, dude, we co-stream stream on Tuesday vertical, and there are times when I'll pull down 10 or 12,000 views and she'll get 700-800, and other times it'll go the other way. I'll pull down 500 or 600 and she'll go 2, 10, 7, 8, 9,000, whatever,
That's the thing, isn't it? That's it. It doesn't yeah, so they either watch on your channel or the other channel. So it's all dependent on what channel they watch it on. I think those views should be credited to all the channels that were involved. Like it should be an aggregate score kind of thing.
Sure.
So it says I've got 39 people.
Like chocolate pie, bro. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
But there's 39 people watching now, but there's probably only maybe 18 or 20 on my channel and the rest on yours. So instead of getting 39 views, on my channel I'll only get maximum consecutive of 20. It's not entirely accurate, is it? Because those people on your channel are still watching my stream because it's my it's whoever it is. Yeah,
the way this works, this is in YouTube you have sourcing, and like you have established this stream, this is your source. I believe you should get some credit for views for that, regardless of how it works out on my end. If I get 5 views, you ought to get a little bit of credit on that. More importantly, though, it spreads awareness of you with 0 to no additional effort on your part, right? That's part of the reason why it doesn't work that way. So, and I still haven't figured out exactly how the vertical streams break up their view time. I don't know how that works. I have yet to find it. I don't know. Ernie Hatmaker, good morning, my love. How are you?
And Jen, I've still got the same phone number. Like, I'm still. I think unless you took yourself out, like I'm still on Signal and stuff. If you got Signal, so I haven't gone anywhere basically. Oh man, I need these glasses, right? But I can't wear them for too long because I start, my eyes start feeling a bit weird, and if I don't take them off, then I end up getting a headache.
Not gonna lie, I've had a headache for about 3 weeks now.
I like it's just a constant headache, or is it a bad headache? Or?
It comes and goes. It's a stress headache. It starts up at the muscles at the back of my neck. It's like I've hyperextended something. I've got a lot of hair, like a whole bunch of hair, and I think I need to trim some of it off. I think I've just overweighted my neck muscles.
So, like, all of my issues with my head and like my migraines and everything is all there in the base of my skull,
Yeah,
nape of my neck. It's all there.
That's where mine starts, but it'll fucking and ruin a day.
Mine doesn't make it. It doesn't go into the front of my head anymore. If it does that, then I'm vomiting everywhere. But I was on Flow Stream when we were talking about Israel and bloody and Claire the secular Quranist was arguing with Izzy. I was sat there, I felt fine, and then suddenly I had to run to the toilet and like hold my hand over my mouth to stop the projectile vomit that came out. And then afterwards, for a good hour afterwards, I felt fucking weak and shaky and weird and like just not right at all. But I did my stream, I got my guitar out and I started singing, and eventually I sort of leveled out a little bit. But I could only play for like an hour and a half. I had to stop.
I can explain why I know why I'm having my headaches. It's not anything unusual. I broke a vertebrae in my neck right below the base. It's not the first or second vertebrae, it's the third one. Back when I was like, I don't know, 15, 17, somewhere around in there. And every once in a blue moon, that thing shifts just a hair out of place, and I'll have tension headaches for the next few weeks until one day I'll turn my head, it'll go, and they'll go away and stop for another year, 3 or 7.
I used to, like, my migraines I put down to the medication that I was on, and then when I wasn't on that medication anymore, but I was still getting migraines, I just figured, it was just it was a lingering side effect. But then when the migraines changed, and went into the back of my head instead of the front, I started putting that down to EMF and 5G and stuff. And like when they changed that router that's right the other side of the wall, just there, when they changed that to a full-on big old heavy duty 5G router to service 100 people instead of 10 people, that's when they started, it increased, and every week at some point I'm getting a fucking migraine.
Yeah. And maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. All I really know is I don't like it. I don't make money doing this. This is not my job. I have no reason to sit here with additional weight on my head when I start getting a headache. So, and you can kind of tell when it starts up, because if I'm
These do actually, yeah. These wearing these for 11 hours. will
Yes, sir.
Give you a fucking headache in the end. Yeah, absolutely.
If not a
Jorn God says,
gamer skull, right? Have you heard about these guys that wore it from 12-year-old to 21 years old, and they have an actual imprint in their skull?
Yes.
I have an imprint in the skins. Like sometimes when I go to the toilet, I've taken my thing off and I'm stood washing my hands and I see in the mirror.
I'm good with that, boy. I'm good with it. I had a big head to start with. I could stand losing a couple of centimeters.
But yeah, Jorn God says you need an antenna inside you to collect the 5G signal. What's the antenna? I feel that I know that
This man's got metal in him.
I mean, I've got a lot of metal in me, but I don't know if titanium is a receiver. But I think that they're putting stuff in the air and the food and whatever that is collecting inside our bodies. And
I don't disagree with you on that. I've got a reason why I say this that's a bit more than most people who say it. How often do you see me drink?
I don't ever actually see you drinking, really. I know you go off and you take little nips.
Yeah, but I drink maybe once a month, sometimes twice a month, sometimes not at all over a couple of months. It's hit and miss. The reason I drink is twofold. One, sometimes I'm trying to pass a kidney stone and I have yet to find a better way to do it than just get blind drunk.
Yeah, I remember talking about this before because I can't help but think that like it may work, but it's also contributing to the next kidney stone. So it's like
I'm in Georgia. The water here contributes to kidney stones, like everything. So that's not a concern.
Couldn't you start drinking? What I mean, personally, I'd distill my water if
cooking is the issue. It's not so much drinking as it is like I cook with the water, and that's a habit that's really hard to break.
All right.
Okay, so the other reason I drink is every now and then, and this is only like every 3 or 4 months, I get this really weird feeling in my face, my sinuses, my joints, my toes. Like it's not exactly inflammation, but everything's a little sore and groggy, and I'm slow on things, and I'm not thinking real clear. And I can sit down, drink a half a pint of rum. When I wake up the next morning, it's like I've flushed something out of my system. I have no hangover. I wake up hungry. I go in, drink a cup of coffee, fix me a big breakfast, and I feel bright as rain. It's the weirdest thing. I remember this happening when I was younger. I binge drank a lot. And so I would sit down and binge drink with some folks and be that guy that woke up the next morning bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready for the day. And everybody else would be laying around like zombies. And they hated me for it. But I can't help but think that I am flushing something negative out of my body when I do that, because you're not supposed to wake up like Superman after you put down a handle of vodka.
Yeah, but you shouldn't compare yourself to us mere humans. I mean, you're Sasquatch. That's different.
And also, it does depend on what you're drinking. Like, if it's vodka, like I don't think that's Smirnoff you're drinking. I'm not sure. That would be quite surprising if you're waking up feeling
typically
like
nowadays I drink rum. Since my younger heady days of youth, I have learned that I can metabolize rum much better than I can most other alcohols for whatever reason.
Dark rum or white rum?
Non-spiced dark gold rum, Bacardi Gold specifically.
Okay.
I'm not sure where that lands, light, dark, whatever.
Rum gave me such a horrible hangover,
dude. I can't do spiced rum. Spiced rum will leave me sick as a dog.
Oh, spiced Morgan, mate. The
I don't even need to think about it.
The aftertaste of the vomit the next day.
Even that was flavored, huh?
Captain Morgan spiced rum, though, I did love that. The first time I tried it, I was like, oh my God, that's fucking amazing. I'm gonna get smashed on this.
And then the next morning you went, oh, that was amazing. I'll never drink that again.
Like Southern Comfort.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what? One of the, this is, I don't know, it's weird. It's something that I've noticed recently and I've done it recently. You know, when you go back, when you think back in time and try and replay a moment in your mind, right? And actually relive that moment, relive the smells, relive that moment. Like you are back in that moment. You smell the smell. And the way it's worked is that it's not like the air has been filled with a smell. It's just that I get a hint of that smell out of no, it's like, fucking hell, wow. And for a second you can smell it, and you're back there in that moment. You know?
Sometimes that smell is not even in the air. It's just your mind
No,
trick.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's not in the air. It's a trick. It's like your mind replays the moment, and your senses replay the moment for a second. But because because it's not in the air, it's not a continuous thing. So to
Dude.
keep like,
oh, honey, a fucking Southern Comfort, dude. When I was an alcoholic and hardcore binge drinking, I would wake up the next morning and put Southern Comfort on my toast for a hangover. Spread it like grape jelly. That was a breakfast food as far as I was concerned.
was your fucking Southern Comfort in America like molasses? Like,
Kinda. It's sweet as hell, dude. It is unbelievably sugary to me.
I wonder if there's a difference between Southern Comfort in Georgia and Southern Comfort that you buy from Tesco's in Newbury, Berkshire, in England.
I don't know, but I can't drink it. The first time my wife got drunk, man, it was me and her brother, and she just we've been talking about it for a while, and she kept saying, I don't drink. I feel like I should kind of try it so that I know what it is. And I'm like, well, wait until you got both of us around, and we'll take care of you and keep you from getting locked up or dying or whatever. And we were in New Orleans right before Katrina hit. I mean, like weeks before Katrina hit. We were in New Orleans doing a vacation thing on spring break or whatever it was. And she decides she wants to get drunk. Her brother's like, hell yeah, let's do this thing. It's the first time I've ever seen liquor in a convenience store. Because I'm in Georgia. We don't do that. What the hell just happened?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm sorry. My phone just started playing music for no apparent reason. Anyway, so we get the bottle. We get back to the house. It's fucking 10 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, we woke up at 7:30 in the morning, went to an all-night convenience store, bought a handle of Southern Comfort and come home and started drinking at like 6 a.m. This is not going to end well. There is no benefit to anything that takes place from this moment forward. So fast forward a couple of hours later, and my wife is in there, and she is verschnickered. She is completely depersoned. She's gotten to the point where she's like having fun and wondering why it's so much fun, and singing and dancing. And then it's like somebody pulled a plug on her ass. She's like, oh God, this sucks. Like, yep. And that's your limit. And I made a note of how many shots that was. It's like, that's exactly where that never ever drink more than what you just drank. She's like, I don't want to talk about this no more. Roar. I was like, that's your limit. From this day forward, subtract 2 from that number, 3 from that number, you'll be fine. She got so mad at me.
Dude, I realized like early on that there was a point where should probably stop drinking, because an hour later the alcohol's still in the stomach, it's still taking effect, you're still getting drunk an hour later. So there is a time to stop. It took me 35 fucking years. Like, well, maybe not 35 years of drinking, but you know,
It took me about 5.
it took me until I was in my 30s to be able to responsibly, you know, understand when I've reached that point. And it was basically as soon as I started to feel like, ooh, there's that little tickle, you know, it's that funny little
But
tickle.
I figured it out. This is what did it for me, bro. So once I discovered non-spiced rum, ship has sailed, bro. Like, I was like, oh wow, that's amazing. I can drink it and I don't feel terrible the next morning. That's fantastic. But I was still a crazy madman when I would drink, right? I would still lose my mind and do stupid shit and be that asshole. You know what I'm talking about. And I drank. There was this one night where I remember what it was. Somebody, I said something about funneling a pint, and the dude sitting across from me at the table was like, bullshit, there's no way. I was like, I got $50 on it. I pulled a Benjamin out my freaking Grant out my wallet, laid it on the table. I said, I'll funnel a whole pint of rum right now and walk away from this disaster. And he's like, that's impossible. I was like, put your money where your mouth is, bro. I'll go get a funnel. He's like, all right, fine. And he had to count up money and borrow money from other people. And he set it down, and I'll never forget it. Oh, Woofy, the guy whose link I shared backstage, he leaned over and grabbed all the money, put it in his pocket, said, you just lost your money, bud. Go ahead, Sasquatch. I said, he's like, no, you walk away from here. I was like, yes, sir, I do.
Right. So that's the key, right? Is the walking away from afterwards.
Yes, sir.
Because anybody can do it. Anybody can down a pint of rum, or in my case, it was vodka. It was 3/4 of a pint, and I didn't even put any money on it. It was just yeah, I'm not much of a yeah. I can down a pint of vodka, no worries, man.
Yeah.
I made it about 10 steps, and then I had to sit down, and then it was about 5 minutes before I was projectile vomiting. But the thing is, I'd pulled this bird, and I was just about to kiss her, man. And then it was like, yep, no, excuse me. Do you still want to kiss me? Oh, fuck. So gutted, man, because she was hot.
So here's my limit. My limit is exactly 1 pint of Bacardi Gold. It doesn't matter how fast I drink it. And if you ever watch me drinking, I've had people tell me, whoa, you need to slow down, man. You need to calm down. 1 pint and 1 shot, I turn into a stark raving monster. I am no longer human. I am an absolute nightmare. But I can drink a whole pint and I am courteous and nice and fuzzy, and I'm still me, you know.
I'm just in the background here. I'm just setting up my portrait stream.
Yeah, there you go. Do that.
All this stuff about drink. Now I need to buy myself some red wine, guys.
Well, make sure you get a good box.
Wine. Stay close to me.
Okay, cheers, guys.
Cheers, dude.
Red wine made me feel so fine.
Don't drink it too quick. Like, savor it over a couple of hours. Don't neck it in a pint.
Shit, just get you a box, bro, and it won't matter.
That's what I loved about weed, right? You don't need to so wine, that's what I started drinking wine, because when you got back, you know, if you just necked a pint of wine and then just, you know, sipped the next glass, you neck the first glass and then just sip the next glass, then you start to feel the effects of it pretty quickly. You know, it does. You feel that little tickle before you finish the second glass. You feel that little tickle. But that's why I like weed, because if you've got good weed, you just need 1 toke. That's all you need. Take 1 big hit, hold it, and boom. You don't need to, you know, you don't need to wait. That's why it's good that I never injected anything.
Oh, thank God, right? Because we probably both
I'm not
be
stupid.
dead.
I'm not. I ain't stupid.
I'll tell you exactly why I don't inject nothing. I come across something one day. It's the first time I ever tried a needle, and that shit was way too good, bro. Like, I got problems with self control to start with. I'm perfectly aware that that is a bad combination. I was just like, nope, never, not, no sir, not this monkey, nope.
I used to like, and to be honest, if I were to say no, fuck it, I'm gonna do some, I'm gonna get some cocaine, right? If I would say fuck it, I'm gonna get some cocaine, but I'm only gonna do a quarter of it. I'm only gonna do a couple of lines of it, and then I'm gonna save the rest of it, and I'll do a couple of lines tomorrow, and I'll do a couple of lines the next day, and I'll just moderate. You know, I won't be able
Yep.
to. I know I won't be able to. I know that after the second line, then I'm like, oh, just another little one, and then suddenly,
Cocaine is God's answer for people with too much money.
Say that again.
Cocaine is God's answer for people with too much money.
Oh, yeah. Quickest way to burn through it.
I was lucky when it come to that stuff. And this is going to sound weird that I say I was lucky, but with the self-control issues that I have, it's a good thing I could never really get involved in cocaine. I had a infection in my tooth. It was this tooth was infected, and it had gone in between my sinus, my eyeball, and my cheekbone, right? Didn't hurt. I didn't even know it was there. But anytime I touched cocaine, it would hit my sinuses, and suddenly my sinuses would be numb, my teeth would be numb, but that infection was not. And it was like a nuclear bomb went off in my face. And dude, my wife was utterly flummoxed. I'm over at a dude's house, and I told him, no, I don't really do cocaine. They're like, why not? You just never had any good cocaine. And I'm like, well, I don't know why, but every time I do it, I get a migraine. And he goes, here, try this. This is totally different. You know how they are. Fine, whatever, snarter. And like, I sat straight up, right after the rail, sat up, looked up at the sky, and went, now I'm going to bed. And he goes, what? And I rolled over on the couch and went to sleep. And he never offered again. It's utterly like a whole party going on around me, and I just passed out to pain. Turns out I had a freaking infection the size of a grape under my like a full cyst the size of a grape under my left cheekbone, and that's where all the pain was coming from. What's funny is when they pulled that tooth, I knew that's what it was because it felt like it went away. I didn't even know I had a headache half of my life.
That's crazy. I remember getting a migraine one night, and it was either because I did the coke or I was going to get a migraine anyway, and I was just happy coincidence. Oh, I'll tell you the worst one, right? They say, oh yeah, it's the best cure for a headache is sex. So me and my girlfriend, we start having sex, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is going to be awesome because it's going to get rid of my headache. And then we got to the point of climax, and the moment I finished, the migraine exploded on a level that I hadn't had yet. Like, it was the worst migraine I'd ever fucking had, and I just started screaming.
Hold on. Hey, Marlene Brown, YouTube has issues with those words, not us.
What? Shit, I don't even know what words I used then.
No, I'm talking about Marlene. She just put something in chat, and YouTube held it for review.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just saying it wasn't us that stopped it. That's YouTube, bro.
I've got no idea what was written, so.
It says, I'm not going to say it out loud, but doing coke is like cock gobbling the devil. Yeah.
So I call it the devil's dandruff, man.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm not addicted to cocaine. It just smells so good.
Oh, dude. that one is a real. That's a real fucking. Yeah, that's a bitch, man. That little demon right there is a bitch.
I'm just glad I never had to fight it.
Once you get free of it, it's just best to just stay clear of it, because,
like I said, I'm just glad I never had that temptation. I know people who did. I know people who went their own freaking merry little way to hell on the devil's dandruff. And what's weird, what really trips me out, is I know meth heads that try to chew me out for smoking weed. They want to tell me that I'm being unhealthy, drinking a pint occasionally, but they're over there sucking on a glass dick like it's Tuesday. Like, what the fuck is up, dude? What are you talking about? I'm sorry, I can't take you seriously if this is the way we're going to be communicating.
The thing is, what the negative impacts that it has on the physical body after, and I don't think you need to do it that long. If you're a meth head for a couple of years, it's going to have an effect on your body.
Yes.
You're going to end up losing teeth and getting sore.
Oh, dude, did I tell you they stole my movie? They made Meth Gator.
Meth Gator.
Yes. Dude, right before Cocaine Bear came out, I started pitching Meth Gator as this movie idea. I wanted to do it as a love story, right? Because everybody knows that people on meth don't have teeth and aren't hungry. So why would the monster actually eat people? It doesn't make any sense. It would come after the meth, and once it got the meth, after gumming you up real good, it would leave, right?
Right.
So I came up with this plot. Now, this is not the plot of the movie they made, because they suck. They're terrible idea people, and they just suck. That's my only excuse for it. But my plot was like this. You have a husband. It starts off like every nightmare movie ever, right? Husband and a wife, they're having marital problems. They argue back and forth. They're doing the silent treatment. They both decide independently that they need to get a divorce because they just can't stand the way their life is going. Classic story. So the husband or the wife, either way, this part doesn't affect the plot. They notice an adventure weekend in Florida. It's not terribly expensive. And he decides, okay, we need to go on. We have a vacation planned, but we were going to go to a beach, but let's go do this thing instead. He approaches his wife. She's like, look, I don't care. We'll just go. We'll unwind, drink a few bottles of wine. We'll have us some wild sex. And when we get back, we'll deal with our problems. Meanwhile, he's like, no, we'll go down there and we'll deal with our problems down there. And if we can't deal with it, we'll come back and get a divorce. She's like, fine. So the day comes, they pack up, they go to Florida, they meet all the people at the place, and everybody's just so nice, man. Everybody here is nice as they can be. Everybody's just falling all over themselves. Oh, welcome to the place. Here's your room. Free breakfast every morning down at the cafe. You get a free lunch at the barbecue place. You get a free burger in the afternoon from over here at Jim Bob's. Glad to have you. Appreciate you being here. We're going to do a full Everglades tour tomorrow. It'll be great. Then things start happening. Dude wakes up the next morning. He's brushing his teeth and he's looking out the window in the bathroom, and he literally sees an alligator snatch a guy off a dock.
Nah.
Like, he's like, goes and tells his wife, I just saw an alligator snatch a dude off the dock. She's like, dude, you just woke up. You're probably still dreaming. Just don't start with this. All right. Just don't start with it. She goes down to go get some fruit for breakfast or to go pick up their breakfast or whatever. She's walking along and she looks over and she sees a couple of guys over there fishing next to the bank. And they're like laughing and joking and punching each other in the arm and having a big, hey, how you doing? And suddenly one of them disappears and the other guy jumps in after him and they both disappear. She stands there for a minute like, the hell did I just see? Whatever. Never mind. I'm still sleepy. Whatever. She goes and gets the breakfast, comes back. Things like that accumulate over the next day. And eventually they decide, look, something weird's going. It's real creepy because everybody's far too nice. Everything is free. They won't even accept tips. Like, this place is impossible. It makes no sense, and it creeps them out. So they go and they tell the guy that they're renting the place from, they're like, hey, we're going to cut this short and go on home because, you know, we've seen a few things. And the guy's like, hold on, my brother will be here with the airboat. We'll knock the price down to half. We'll pack you a picnic lunch. Y'all can go and have an excellent tour. We'll even cut the tour down for a little while. Then they finally convince them to stay for a couple of more hours. Y'all can leave this afternoon. Or better yet, stay till tomorrow, and we'll have us a big old party in the morning. And they're like, fine, whatever, right? These people are all creepy. They're freaking me out. So at this point, they go to do the airboat tour. And from the point in time they get on that airboat and for the next 4 hours, this alligator is following that airboat and trying to get it and bumping into it. And anybody else that shows up in eyesight gets snatched by the alligator while the guy driving is like screaming and yelling and freaking out. And hours later, they've run all the way through the Everglades and come almost all the way back to the place. And he tells the guy, look, it's right over here. If you just keep going, I'm going to lead the alligator away. And they're like, what? He's like, it's the only chance we've got, man. And he jumps out of the freaking boat, swims to the bank. And he's like, fine, turns on the airboat and takes his wife home back to the place. And when they get there, everyone who's been eaten by the alligator standing around eating barbecue and freaking hamburgers and hot dogs. And there's kids running around playing. And homie saves his wife from a dramatic situation. Suddenly they're back in like sync as a marriage couple. And, he's freaking out. He's like, what's going on? And they're like, no, we realize it's really strange, but it is a lot more lucrative to sell an adventure weekend to reach people than it is to try to sell meth. And meth heads don't have teeth, so nobody's really hurt. There's actually no body count. A couple of bruises, maybe some coughing later to get the water out of your lungs, but you filmed the whole thing like a solid hardcore monster slasher flick from the very beginning.
So are you saying that these are alligators with no teeth?
Yes, well, they're meth heads. It's an alligator without teeth because meth heads don't have teeth.
Right. Okay. So yeah, it's a meth head.
They're not hungry, so they're not eating them. They just snatch them down to get the meth they have in their pocket. And so this guy is actually giving the people that you see get snatched off the bank. When they get there, before you're looking, they open up the thing, sprinkle some meth in the water, and then pretend to fish for a little while.
How did the alligator become a meth head?
That's my favorite part. In the very beginning, right? Is the scene opens. There's a dude riding a bicycle on some road in the Everglades. I wanted to cast Flow State for this role. Drug boy number one, right? And he's got a backpack and he goes to the chef's house and he gets a big old bag of freaking meth and dumps it in his book bag, pays him the money. They have an argument because all drug dealers are terrible. And that whole 9 yard works out. And then when he goes to leave, because they're arguing, they get in a bit of a fight, and the drug boy falls in the water, and an alligator actually eats him. It's the only actual death that takes place in this movie. After that, the gator comes back and pulls the entire fucking RV off into the damn drink. But the guy that's cooking the meth isn't in it, and so that's not a body. But he has an idea. He's like, wait, we go to jail if we try to sell meth. But what if we sell an alligator that doesn't actually eat things?
Fucking insane, man.
Call it Meth Gator, the love story.
Only in America.
Only in Florida, bro. That's obviously a Florida story.
This story sounds like a great example of why you never leave the house without a gun.
Bro, I'm in Georgia. We got cougars, bears, snakes. We've got freaking bobcats. We've got reasons to carry a gun right here. Wolverines are this far south occasionally, and badgers are native. So,
I mean, technically, you could say that it's actually the loud noise of the gun that that saves the person more than the actual ability, the person's ability to actually shoot dead
That
Japanese?
depends on whether you hit them or not, because that bullet is really, really, really real.
But if you've got a loud enough bang, would that not scare off pretty much any predatory animal, especially if you could do more
Not bears, really.
Unless
Unless they've encountered a firearm, unless they have reason to fear it, they don't fear thunder. So why would they fear a gunshot unless you like shoot something really close by and it moves something near them? That will freak them out. You can throw a rock and spook a bear, but a loud noise won't necessarily do it.
Well, I mean, like a man with enough fucking confidence and self-assertion could actually give a bear pause. You know, they're not.
I was actually, let's see, I can't remember whose panel I was on when the idea hit me. We were talking about I stumbled across the article for Cocaine Bear and was like, did you know that in, the mid 80s, there was a freaking cocaine bear on the loose in Appalachia? And they were like, what? And I brought up the article and then we were discussing it and everybody was like, nah, dude, it should be a meth gator. That's a great idea, but he's got to run around real fast and jump out of the water and stuff. That's the movie they made. The whole time they're talking, I'm going, no, that's too easy, dude. You need layers when you do. You got to do something clever with it. It should be like Brain Smasher. You ever seen Brain Smasher?
No.
It's an Andrew Dice Clay film from the mid 80s, early 90s. And in it, he's a bouncer who has like this super powerful right hook. And he's just putting down people left, right, and center. But he falls in love with a chick, probably a stripper. I'm a bit confused on the narrative there. He falls in love with a chick, chases her around, trying to keep her out of danger and stuff because some other dude's trying to get with her too, and yada, yada, yada. One's trying to kidnap her, the other's trying to protect her. And there's a scene in there where he punches a guy in the face, and the dude's face takes the shape of his fist.
That's like Japanese manga, man.
Yes. Actually, that's a very good analogy. That movie is very much manga-ish, if that's a thing.
Manga influenced.
But just consider it. You get the full treatment of a monster flick, the full treatment of a slasher flick, the dark humor of a dark comedy, and when it's all said and done, a love story.
Yeah, and you get this resolution, this
Yes.
love story resolution thing in it. Like the moral of the story is that the guy just needed purpose and to feel like a man again.
Basically, that's exactly the narrative I was going to run with. But I had an alternate narrative where it was the chick that ended up saving him. If you want to go all woke as hell, let's say he fucking turns his ankle or something, right? Breaks his wrist.
Yeah. I mean, you could go real woke, and it could be a post-op.
Okay, fine. That's fine. I don't care about none of that. I just wanted the actual story to be done. I've been talking about this thing for like 4 years now. I started this up right after I started.
Listen, dude, you put that. You either. Well, no, I think you contributed to the thought that was on the ether. You maybe picked up on something in the ether and you contributed to it and expanded on it, and then somebody else picked up on that thought in the ether.
I watched the movie. I watched Meth Gator, and oh, dude, you should have seen the look. I had a whole crowd of folks in my living room, and they were over with my kids. They're all like 20, 19, 17, A couple of them never met me before in my life, have no idea what a Sasquatch is, right? And I come in and I'm like, oh, y'all want some TV? I'll turn on the TV. And I turned on the TV, went to Tubi, and it popped up Meth Gator, and I screamed. They started running around the house like a madman, going, they stole it. They stole it.
I mean, hearing this just basically helps to solidify my perception that you helped speak that into existence, mate.
I'll buy that, because 90% of this film can be taken point from point from that first live stream that I dropped these ideas in. It's like they heard the first half and didn't hear the second half, because everybody was like, oh, he'd be super fast, man. He'd be super hard to hit. He'd be damn near bulletproof. I was like, no, you don't understand. Have you ever dealt with a meth head?
Yeah, that's it. It'd be tweaking out and just really paranoid and fucking twitchy, basically.
They didn't do none of that in the freaking movie, man. All they did was show his pupils dilate up real tight, and then the damn gator can fly, climb radio towers. He's running up the second and third floor walls and shit. It's hilarious. Don't get me wrong. I'm not throwing smoke at the film that was made. I'm just saying that if they'd have sat and thought about it, if they'd have ever encountered an actual meth head in their entire life, they would have made a different movie.
I mean, maybe like if they said that this was some military grade meth, that's why it was able to climb walls.
That was exactly where I was going to go with it. I forgot about that part. I wanted to get a ringer for Walter White.
Yeah.
To be the cook. Just have him been there with that blue meth and never say a word about it. It just be there, just be an observable feature of the film and never mention it. Easter egg.
That's it. Like you see the guy goes to go and get his stuff, and it's just in the background it's a meeting with very clearly what's his name? Heisenberg, yeah, with the hat. Basically.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
The guy with the hat, everybody will pick up on it. Like,
I even had managed to put together half of the cast from folks on YouTube. Like everyone who heard this idea for the film was like, "Oh, that is awesome! I want in." I'm like, if I can get some back, and I'm on the way, bro. I'm doing it. It's happening. Somebody, oh yes, I want to get Flow State to play Drug Boy number 1.
Yes,
Dude,
I'd be a victim. I could just be another method that gets picked
no,
up.
dude, it wouldn't even have to be like that. You could just be one of the guys in the little village over there. You're sitting there. You obviously have no idea how to fish, right? You're like tangled all up in your shit on the dock. Kick it, like you drop your fucking pole in the water, you pull it back out, you try to bait your hook, and there's already a lure on it. You're not here to fish, you're here to get snatched up by the gator you just sweetened up, you know? It's beautiful. It's so great.
Enjoy a little pipe while I'm doing it. I've never done meth, but do you know what I heard the other day? And actually, we were talking about Bournemouth. That's where I heard it had come into. Meth. Meth has hit the streets in the UK. Crystal meth has hit the streets in the UK.
Y'all enjoyed that.
And pink cocaine, Tusi.
Oh, dude, we used to have this stuff when I was in high school, and I don't know who it was that was making it or where it was coming from. Well, actually, this was a few years after I quit. I came across this guy who had something he called Swift.
Mary. Yeah. Sorry, she just said something.
No, that's a line from
Say my name.
No, it's a line from Heisenberg from what's the name of that show?
Oh yeah, from
Breaking Bad. That's a line from Breaking Bad. Say my name. You know who made that. Now say it.
That was good, man. I liked it. I liked the character.
It happened to come out while I was working out of town and stuff, so I didn't ever get to really watch it. Plus, I was on a bunch of drugs and didn't want to watch people on a bunch of drugs at the time, so you know.
Sons of Anarchy as well. Like there's a part of me that totally identifies with being a biker. In a different life, I could absolutely be a fucking biker. Harley Davidson, wearing a skin, you know.
He could be so freaked out he dodges bullets. He like literally matrixes that shit.
I mean, it does sound like a virgin on Supernatural fucking alligator. That it's just, you know, meth doesn't hit anybody else like that, but this alligator, it can fucking.
It doesn't matter. I don't care about none of that. Did you watch Cocaine Bear, dude? It's fine. The suspension of disbelief is already there.
You know, that's an interesting thing, the suspension of disbelief, right? I did film studies A level and in college, Newbury Technical College. And just one of the lessons, just this one thing really stuck in my brain for some reason. And I never understood why until the last few years, the significance that it has. And that's he talked about the diegesic effect, which is the willing suspension of disbelief. And the films rely on the diegesic effect to be like films like Star Wars with the spaceship flying through space where nobody can hear scream, but you can still hear the engines of the ship as it flies.
Well,
No?
I actually did a class with a editor, a professional editor. He did this whole little symposium thing, and I got lucky and ended up being able to go. And he brought up that specific scene of the TIE fighter flying out and hearing the. He said the reason that sound is there is to give you the perspective of the pilot without actually showing this perspective of the pilot. The pilot can hear that.
But can he? The pilot can feel it, but can
Yeah.
he actually hear it? Because there's no he's still in a vacuum. There's no, like, if he's in space, then he's in the vacuum. So that, like, the ship, he's got he's got a suit on and everything.
Yeah, no, I brought that up. The fact that TIE fighters don't have air. They don't have life support like that. They have life support in the suit.
Yeah, that's it. Right, it's in the suit. So the the problem still exists.
He said his response to that was great. I really liked it. He said that that's immaterial because you can still hear it through your bones from your contact with it in the seat. So this is the sound he's hearing, not the actual sound it makes.
I love Raymond, who's Hollow Point on YouTube. He's a gamer. He was playing one of these games set out in space, and in the game they've actually incorporated the idea that there is not actually any sound in space. So the sound, you do still hear sound, but it's really, really, really muffled. So it's almost like it's not the sound that you're hearing. What you're hearing is the vibration through the suit of when you fire the gun, there is a vibration that goes through the suit.
Well, yeah, he was explaining that it's not the sound that you're hearing; it's the sound that's why it's so low. You know, you'd figure a spaceship would be loud as hell, right? But the only reason you can hear it at all is because the pilot is strapped tightly into the seat and the vibrations are transferring to his bones.
Right, I'll tell you what, it's 20 to 4. My stream is set up for live music on a
that link. Go get the vertical link of the stream and YouTube. Drop it backstage. I'll drop it in my chat so they can go check you out. Please, thank you.
I think that's it. Just check for me. I think that is it.
Will do. I'm on mouse work.
Yeah. I'm gonna just take the dogs out quickly. Alfie going.
Don't end it yet. Give me a second before you end it.
So yeah, nice, man. I got to say my goodbyes to everybody in the chat room. Thank you to everybody in Sasquatch on Sasquatch's channel. Gimmickless News and New York Outcast. DJ Emo, how you doing, man? Over there on, why aren't you in my channel? You got a wrench in my channel, dude. And Mary and everybody else, anybody else that's still here and listening. We've got 20 people here still. Little Wing, Ricardo, Mary, my subscribers. Yeah, I'm going to be back in at 4:00. Link is in the chat. Thank you for being here. Thank
I
you for
love each and every one of you like a brother and a sister.
Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. I think everybody listening is subscribed on my channel. If anybody is over there in Sasquatch's channel, and I'm mostly doing music nowadays. This panel thing is a rare occurrence now.
I like them when you do it. Doesn't bother me a bit. It's usually way earlier than I usually join up for anything. What's up, Northwoods? Whoop whoop. So that's why I'm almost never on a panel when you come live, is because that's first thing in the morning for me, you know.
You know, like I've thought about actually going on later at 10 o'clock at night or something, 11 o'clock. But you know what? I really like to be in bed by 10 or 11 o'clock.
You put on a better show when you're rested. I've noticed that. And so I don't have an issue with you coming on this early. It's just the panels, they're just out of sync for me. I'm not in my best game when I first wake up.
Yeah.
Cliff, welcome in, bud.
Not even, man. But right, are you all done? Shed, are you ready?
Yeah, it's in there. It's been. They've had a chance.
Cool. Right, Sas, thanks, man. Much love, dude. Thanks for joining me.
You have a lovely day.
You have a great day, and your chat, have a great day. Thanks for being here, and my subscribers and my chat, love you guys, and I'll see you in 15 minutes. Link is there in the chat, or you can go to my channel, and the live stream is set up, ready to go. Adam, see you later, man. Take it easy. And I've heard as Jen is a party pooper. Jen, if you're still listening, this isn't this.
I work
this isn't
some hours in an office, and the groups of people, they're talking, and one say about Jennifer, the colleague. I tell you, Jennifer, she is really a party pooper. Really? Jennifer poops at parties? So she poops at parties, and people know this? I poop at parties, but people don't know because I close the door. Jennifer goes to the party and then poops, but she do it so people know. Where do she go for it? Does she visit the water closet and make door of the open so people may see and smell things? This sounds horrible. Maybe she go like by the tables with the gift and the present and the punches bowl? Poop on the carpet? This sound like, Jennifer, you have some mental issue.
God, he never stops talking. He could talk a glass eye to sleep, that fella.
Something's in the water, I think. I think it's in the water, and it might be the same shit that's turning the frickin' frogs gray.
What do you want?
How about peace? How does peace strike the esteemed, retired god of war? How about we just don't kill each other? How about you stay home, kick up your feet, seek no quarrel with me, and I'll have none with you.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
But at the end of the day, if it comes at me, I will go at it. And I'm not being responsible for what happens. I have to kick it between the bollocks. That's what's going to happen. I will kick a panda in the bollocks if I have to.
What float my metaphor boat? I can tell you what floated. No holes in the boat. That float my boat. No tidal east wave. This float my boat. Do not put large monster in my boat. That would sink it. So
Let's dance!
Stop now,
everybody. Say what now?
Some people listening to this, if they do, will shake their heads and dismiss me as just another conspiracy theorist. Well, if you do...
You're damn right I am.
It makes sense, guys.
Emotional damage.